there, I'm Liz. This channel is called Growing Fruitful because I want to grow fruitful for God, and I want to, maybe find other people out there who would like to do that too, and we can maybe support each other. So the reason I want to do this video today is because I was realizing that I was not really keeping to my plan for Lent. A little, certain things a little bit, but not as much as I would like. And I had listened to a couple of videos that interested me on this topic. One of them was just saying, make sure you're not getting too comfortable, and just realizing that I needed to kind of like really take a look at this. Because one of the things that I struggle with, and that actually comes up in confession, has to do with my ability to stay disciplined in certain things, the kinds of things that are, semi-optional, but not really, like your health, your spiritual life, those kinds of things. And just realizing that I really needed to get more diligent on this stuff. So speaking of diligence, I also have, this is Father Ripperger has this. I think it's Father Ripperger's. Somehow it's associated with Father Ripperger. It's all the virtues, all the moral virtues, and there are 64 of them according to this list. And so what I did was I went through, and there are certain ones that I really want to work on. And as I have been, learning more and more about Lent, what we want to do is we don't want to be the same as we were last year spiritually. We want to grow. And Lent is a time of like a boot camp for that. So when it comes to growing in discipline and diligence and that kind of stuff and just sticking to a plan, there are certain virtues in this list that apply. So I'm just going to do them in the order that they show up here, because I just put a little mark next to them. I'll explain them. I won't explain the whole thing about them, but I'll name them and tell you why they're in there. Okay, so I have docility in there because I want to be docile to the Holy Spirit. I don't want to just come up with a plan and follow it and stick to it like it's the law. I want to have God help me decide what I'm supposed to be doing and then stick to it. And or both, you know what I mean? Like I have to be able to always keep the ear open to the Lord. So another one is called good counsel, the habit of taking good counsel. So it kind of goes along with docility. So docility being taking counsel and ability to be led. So those go together. The virtue of religion, which is the virtue by which one pays back. The virtue by which we render to God what is due to him. This again, we're talking fast, abstinence, alms, and the spiritual reading. I'm not doing a whole lot of anything really fasting. I'm trying not to overeat. I'm more doing the abstinence because digestively haven't done real well these days with fasting. This is sort of unrelated to everything else that I've said, but I've got piety in there because I've learned more and more about why we want to respect the authority of our husbands. I know that's controversial, but I wasn't raised, it's not my parents, but like the generation that I grew up in was just so counter to that I'm able to see the good in it when I realize how to live it out. And that's like another video someday. But anyways, so that's in there. Okay, so here we're getting into the diligence and discipline. So you've got diligence, which is fulfilling one's duty according to one's state in life. So that's that one. Also related to that is mortification, the willingness to suffer. So in order to push yourself to do things diligently or any of these other things for Lent, you have to be willing to deal with the suffering that goes with it. And Father Ripperger says that if you are not willing to suffer, you can never grow spiritually. So, abstinence, we've discussed. Okay, this one's called continence. This one, another one that relates to discipline. So, continence is the virtue in the will by which one remains steadfast despite the tumult of the appetites. So me doing this video right now, I was just so tired. I finally got my work done, and I've been sleep deprived all week, but pushed myself to do this, mortification, and continence being just the virtue in the will by which one remains steadfast despite the tumult of the appetites. So getting into steadfast, I don't know if you can hear my dog. But anyway, so getting into steadfast, I decided to try to do a 30-day posting challenge for this channel. So this is video number 1 on the challenge. So I'm hoping that will push me in these areas, pushing against my will. Yes, I want to do it, but honestly, feeling like it is another story. So, okay, and then after that, it's humility, which, oh my goodness, talk about showing up in confession. Just pride is a thing. Pride is just like every time there's something that I feel iffy about it, like in my behavior, I can trace it back to pride. Go with before the fall. And then studiosity and simplicity. So studiosity, there's a book that I want to read, like I said, and simplicity, I just want simplicity to be a part of everything. So anyway, I hope you find this interesting. I think this is great stuff. But anyway, so in order to encourage myself, I had this book that I bought for, I think it was like $3 or $5 or $6 or something like that. I got this at Job Lot, and it's just 1 page per day. And I'm not using it so much to plan my days, although sometimes I will pencil stuff in. Mostly I'll do my plan on a Post-it note, but then what I'm putting in here is what I actually got done. So by doing that, it's kind of giving me a record of my accomplishments, and I'll use colored pencils to go back in. I was doing that before, and then I just stopped using it for about a month. And I'm going to get back into that. And the whole point of all this is I haven't been making progress spiritually, really. I don't think, yeah, I have in some ways, but I feel like there's, when you feel like you're constantly confessing the same sins, not that they're mortal or anything, but just, going in and being like, yeah, well, once again, I'm not remembering, or put it this way, just not controlling my time and just making really good choices with the time and sticking with it, just giving into my feelings and tiredness and stuff like that a lot. So I'm hoping this really helps a lot, and I think it'll be fun just posting, and I think it will also push me to learn to be more creative, because I really don't want them all to look exactly the same, me being in the same spot, talking about the same thing. I don't have a lot of time to do anything fancy, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I am so glad that you're here, and I hope that your Lent is going well. If there's anything that you found interesting about what I've been talking about today, or anything you can relate to, please put something down in the comments about it. Anything, the interaction is just awesome. And yeah, if you want to subscribe, welcome, it's free. And I hope you are having a wonderful Friday afternoon, and I will try to post tomorrow. Pray for me. I'll pray for you too. Have a good one.